Hey Leo! Thank you for joining me for your November reading. I'm Madeline, if we haven't met before, and if you're back, hi! Am I revealing your cards? My bad, don't look. We're gonna see them in a second, but first I want to talk about your channeled message, Leo. It was really funny. I loved the way that Spirit comes through, and they just came through like gangbusters as soon as I kind of sat and tuned in and did my pre-shuffling before I got on camera. And they just straight up gave me the phrase, accept no substitutes. And they mean that in two ways. The first is the way you might be thinking, like, accept no substitutes. Like, are you taking like the low fat, reduced sugar version of someone or something that is like ultimately unsatisfying? You know, like, and it's funny, but when I'm saying that, they're like, yeah, the way that studies show that people who eat stuff that's all made with like artificial sugar, their body knows what real sugar is, and so they're not satiated. So we tend to eat more of whatever the sugar-free or reduced fat type thing is, because our body is like, nope, that's not what I was looking for. And ultimately it kind of defeats the purpose. Have the full fat, full sugar version of the thing. I'm not encouraging you to eat poorly, Leo. This is all metaphor. Have the real thing. Accept no substitutes. If there's like a person or a job, an interaction that you're having where you know, like, I'm kind of accepting something that is not up to par, maybe just consider looking at that and asking yourself if you're accepting a substitute, okay? Just ask yourself. Now, the second meaning for that is about you, Leo. Accept no substitutes, as in be exactly yourself this month. Always, right? But November, maybe because of this first situation that they're talking about, might kind of give you an urge to like fit into a role. Like, you know, you're the performer of the zodiac, and in a way you enjoy performing. So if somebody wants you to perform the role of someone who is maybe a little meeker or a little louder or a little whatever that doesn't exactly align with you, accept no substitutes. We want 100% pure organic Leo, cold pressed, baby. Okay, Leo. So with this in mind, let's dive into your November reading and see what your cards have to say about it. Love it. First thing up, accept no substitutes, because they're offering you something perfect and ideal and full of potential. Accept no substitutes. Wow, good Lord. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna shut up. I'll put the cards up in just a second. You can see why I'm so excited. Okay, we love that. Love that for us. Oh, this is too much fun, Leo. Okay. Oh my God. I'm sorry. Okay. Wow. Accept no substitutes. I don't think you have to. Not that you ever did. But it feels like you're real fucking bored of it. Straight up. And sometimes that's the best frequency to be at. Like, maybe you started out where you really wanted this support or this job or this person or this whatever. And you've kind of been like limping along and accepting a substitute for so long that it's like, I'm done. I'm gonna go get some full fat fucking cookies because this sugar-free shit is bullshit. Like, I'd rather have 3 full fat cookies than like this sleeve of reduced fat sugar I've been eating that makes me feel sick in the morning. Metaphor. Are you accepting something that might be making you feel a little sick in the morning? I think you're done. And either this is coming in as affirmation, Leo, or as advice. So because these are general readings, every Leo is going to be at, you know, a different point on the journey and will come through a different lens. But some of you are fully done and washing your hands of this in November, or you've just done it. Like, you've just left it behind him and like, you know what, kiss off. Love you, but kiss off, Slappy, for my MST3K fans, the 2 of you or whatever that might be out there. Let me know in the comments. It's my thing. Okay. You're done. Like, truly done. These are beautiful cards, both of them on their own, and in conjunction, they're like turbo. The Ace of Pentacles, like I said, is an offer, an opportunity, a seed, an idea, different for different Leos. but potent when it comes to getting what you want, specifically getting what you want in the earthly. Spirit is playing a song in my head right now. I can't remember. I think the title is Fuck Boys, Get Money. Forever, you know, for whomever that applies, for whomever that resonates. You know what? Like, I'm tired of chasing this. This is actually what I want to be working on, because this is my foundation. This is me. Like, this is my thing, and I'm gonna take control back because I'm done with this cycle. I learned my lesson from this. So many of you, Wheel of Fortune crossing your reading, saying like a cycle is complete. And we all know that when an old cycle is complete, the new one begins. On the inside, you're ready. Sorry, Spirit was just like, on the outside, you're ready. Really though, it feels pretty aligned. These guys know each other well. They have a lot in common. They're both willing to dive into something, come hell or high water. I have to follow my heart. Can't do this anymore. You know? Doesn't matter how beautiful the road is if I'm moving in the wrong direction. You're going to be taking a different road, and ironically one that might feel a little more mysterious. Because this is funny, but Spirit was saying in its way this other thing was kind of like a sure thing, because it's like, yeah, sure, I can keep this, for example, this job that is like paying me dust, but at least it's there. Or this person who's paying me dust, but at least they're there. No shame and no judgment in that, Leo. In fact, like, that's important, that you release any judgment or guilt that you might feel around having accepted this. If you're still in it and you're like, well, I wish I was done with it, take this as your message. There's a transition coming where you get to move towards something. 2 aces in your reading, big deal. Here's yourself as the Knight of Wands carrying your Ace of Wands, carrying it to its destination. You know, fire and earth as elements, when we mix them together, you could think of a volcano. And you could think that a volcano can alter the landscape, or it can just rumble beautifully and forebodingly in the distance. What do you want to do this month, Leo? I think we're ready to move. Magma flows. Spirit is going with this volcano metaphor, and it creates new elements. Volcanic glass, things like that, precious elements. So many of you are going to create something precious this month, and maybe out of the alchemy of this. Like, I'm so tired and bored and done with this that it's easy to go on. Feels like the easiest thing in the world, like falling off a log, like falling off a cliff. There goes the fool, jumping in with both feet. A little bit of a positive version of like, fuck it. You know what I mean? Like, but not the angry kind, but the all-embracing Buddha fuck it. Hashtag Buddha fuck it. I think you ought to follow your instincts this month. They're kind of going to be more essential. The internal compass is going to be more telling than the external this month. Hermit, where you find yourself. The moon in your future, but clarified by the Emperor. So we'll talk about what this means in a second. The journey into the unknown is what Spirit just said. Some of you are moving. You're moving, or you've just moved, or you're on the verge, like I'm feeling geographically for some of you very specifically. And for the rest of you, this is still very much a transition, even if it's an internal one. It's going to reflect ultimately in the external. Wow. Spirit is like, you are Your fantasy is building something. Your internal willingness to let go of what isn't serving you and isn't supporting you is what is freeing up your hands to take this, your Ace of Pentacles, to take this, your Ace of Wands, your ideas, your growth, and take them somewhere that is going to better serve you. A container or a garden that might be better for you to spread these roots out and really grow and really blossom. The moon is transition. The moon is things are not what they seem. The moon is accept the mystery, move into it. There are times in our lives where we know exactly what to do and we know what's happening. But even in that itself is a fantasy too, because life can change in an instant. Nutty things happen all the time. For better and for worse, things change all the time. So sometimes stability can be like an illusion. And Spirit wants that to be liberating, not fearsome. But that's tough because the moon does activate our primal fear. We don't like to walk around in the middle of the night where there's no lights on, where we're in unfamiliar territory. It gets our ancient primal biological responses firing up. But it also makes those senses more keen. We hear things that we wouldn't have heard if we weren't tuned in. We see things, our eyes catch things that they wouldn't have if we were just walking around in the daytime in these woods. Pay attention. Pay attention. Subtle signs. Some of you might have Cancer placements, Cancer moon, Cancer sun, Cancer rising, or maybe just a Cancer dominant chart, because I'm getting a few similar vibed messages. So I always want to point that out in case you want to go over and watch like the Cancer video if you do have those placements. You might find some of this weaves together. Like I said, no matter whether it's geographical, physical, or just mental and emotional, you're on a journey. And even a journey off somewhere geographically is going to result in a learning experience and in finding new things about yourself and honing your instincts. Accepting no substitutes. Speaking of honing your instincts, in the potential position, like this could happen, this is hopes and fears, this is depending on how we take or do not take our Ace of Pentacles moments and complete or choose to not complete our cycles, and there's no judgment. We learn the lesson we need to learn. If we need to stick around and feel a little more Five of Pentacles before we decide like, fuck this, that's fine. Do it, Leo. Feel no fucking judgment. You got to do it till you're bored of it. Like I said, that's like kind of better than like I'm enraged or I'm heartbroken. It's like, this is stupid. Like, you know what I mean? When you get to that point, like, I'm not kicking myself, but like, this is just not, it's not satisfying. I wake up feeling sick. Okay. The potential situation, the potential outcome, or the advice that you need to know. Some of you may indeed want to stick in this cycle for a little bit longer. The Eight of Swords is about holding ourselves back. You'll notice that though this woman is, you know, it's kind of a foreboding looking card. She seems to be kind of like, ooh, is she trapped? Like she's surrounded by these swords, she's tied up, she's blindfolded. But if we look at it for just beyond a couple seconds, it's like, well, yeah, she's like quote unquote tied up, but there's like nobody there, and the bandages around her are like really loose. Like she could just shrug and they would come right off. And her, when Spirit was saying like, hey, get bored of it and shrug, hey, maybe they'll fall right off. She can go, she can shrug this off and pull off her blindfold and go when she's ready. So that's the good thing about the card. Nobody can hold you back but you, Leo. Your fears, though, might be holding you back. An insecurity, maybe like a scarcity mindset might be holding you back in whatever area this is. Again, like, is this a job for you? And we're going to talk a little more about your money. Is this a job? Is this a relationship? Is this a living situation where it's like, I feel like I've outgrown this and I'm done with this, but can I have this other thing? Am I worth it? Can I get it? Like, am I even good enough? Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And I don't say da-da-da-da-da like it's not important. These are important questions to ask yourself this month. What do I want? What do I value? Maybe I've been kind of going along like going with the flow, and now I need to carve a little bit of my own path and go a little bit my own way. Spirit is now totally playing Fleetwood Mac, Go Your Own Way. Woo! Some of y'all are in relationship or situationships that's the issue, where it's like, I'd rather kind of be alone. Like, I've gotten to that point where I'd rather hang out alone with like a movie or a friend, or to get myself a mani fucking petty and read my book and hang out, like, than do this again. You're carving your own path. It's time to know that value. This is what's showing up after the moon in your future. The Emperor. Big fire energy here. Big daddy energy here. And you can identify any which way on the gender spectrum, Leo. This is like, who's my daddy? I'm my daddy. Like, I tell me when to go to bed. I tell me when to eat my vegetables. I run my life like somebody who is like, value yourself. Like an ideal father. You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine what an ideal father figure might do, and tell you if you're in this situation. Or if you have an awesome dad, talk to your awesome dad and find out what their advice is on this situation, because there is a need to see and to seek, Spirit said it that way, your own value. What am I worth? What do I want? Maybe I haven't really known. Maybe it's a little different than I thought it was. Maybe it's even just a little different than it was 6 months ago or whatever. And like, I just need to find it out, declare it, have it. The Emperor is order and discipline and power and wealth. And you have a lot of power and potential for wealth in this reading, if you can know your value and know that the risk appears to be worth it. Be CEO of your life, Leo. Walk into your life, walk into your house, look around, look at how you've arranged things, literally and metaphorically, and be like, do I like this? Is this working for me? You know what, this department over here, this is not running optimally. Like, either we need to cut it out or we need to change some things. I'm taking control. I'm taking my power. I'm taking my power and I'm going to make things the way I want them. Speaking of making things, a lot of you have a big opportunity to grow your money in November by sitting down and just doing the damn thing. Like, simplifying it for yourself. You know, the Emperor, like I said, order and discipline, great time to focus on like routines. What are my habits? What are they actually doing for me? Again, it's just like a reality check of like, literally, not like, what do I want my habits to be? What do I do all the time? Like, what are my habits? And then kind of like, you know, they're really literally showing me this is big Emperor Pentacles energy. One side of the notebook, you know, one column is like, these are my habits. And then the other side is like, what these habits do. Like, do they make me happy? Do they make me tired? Do they make me overweight? Do they make me healthy? What do they do? Just very like simply and black and white. Again, the Emperor walking in like a CEO. There's no moral judgments or anything. It's just like, how is this working for me? Do I need to make some changes? And then execute. Plan, execute. Make it simple for yourself. Make it simple for yourself to get up and go, sit down, do the thing. This is, Eight of Pentacles is work that you love, or at least work that you like love the money that it creates and the lifestyle that it provides. So it's like, if you dig in, if you really embrace your role as like Emperor, you know, this guy is who we have to be to become the Emperor. Spirit just said that loud and clear. We have to joyfully undertake our work and be like, what do I want to grow? I want this. Yes. Like, and going in with that attitude of like, if I show up every day or every Sunday or whatever, like if you have a side hustle, for example, or you have a project that is like, this is long term and it's not going to be done in 2 hours or 2 days, like, or whatever, but I'm going to be the goddamn Emperor and say, well, this is how I'm going to get it done. If I want it done by this time, how do I reverse engineer that? Get a little assistance, do a little research if you need to, look into productivity habits, but honestly what I'm hearing is like, keep it simple. This is what I want to do. Here's an amount of time I'm able and willing to devote to it per week or per day. And I'm going to show up this same bat time, same bat channel, and do the thing. And it will grow. The Ace of Pentacles is a seed. It's a golden opportunity, not a silver platter. So we have to water the seed, we have to nourish it, we have to take care of it, we have to show up day after day and show it love like we do a plant. Sing to it, play the guitar for it, read it poetry, give it love, put yourself and your heart and soul into it. Soul, really important. Ace of Wands, this is your baby, this is important to you. Some of you, this is very inspiring. And some of you, straight up, have what I want to say, because what I'm feeling really strongly is for a lot of you Leos who are in the situation where you're either single or you're moving out of that situation with somebody, or, you know, whatever, the situation that made you feel not appreciated or like it wasn't enough. I feel like some of you are heading towards straight up like a new relationship. This is someone who understands. This is someone who gets your depths. This is someone who's not afraid of their own emotions, let alone yours. This is someone who can deal with this type of energy. And maybe this person is even already present in your life as someone that you're getting that kind of advice and guidance from. For some of you, if this is not, like, if you're, for example, in a good relationship and it's like, that's not my problem, the King of Cups is somebody that can help you with whatever that Five of Pentacles is. Maybe it's a life coach. Maybe it's just a friend who's like, here, well, tell me what you're feeling. And they kind of just help you literally sort it out. Could be a therapist, literally, because the King of Cups is like wounded healer. So whomever it feels like you could talk to, and they could kind of pull some stuff and lay it out for you and help you see it from a new perspective, and maybe be able to separate the wheat from the chaff. Talk to your King of Cups. And if you don't know who this is yet, I feel like they're nearby. But it does sort of feel like it requires you getting out of your comfort zone, starting this new initiative, taking a new route. Even if you're not ready to leave this thing behind, I want to make that clear. Even if you're not ready to leave this thing behind, it's like, you know, even if I'm not ready to break up with this person or ditch this job or whatever, I am going to start taking more time for myself and discovering what I like and what I want, because the truth is, the more that you invest self-love, and I mean active self-love, like I'm eating good, I'm eating good, I'm eating well, I'm drinking enough water, I'm taking myself for like a walk every day at the least or whatever, that upgrades your value, and that's going to transmit from the inside out. Feels like you're ready to slough off some stuff that wasn't worth it for you and get something that feels a lot more all-encompassing, is the phrase that Spirit just used. So I kind of want to give some of you this encouragement that it might be easier than you think to forget about this old situation. If you're worried that you're going to grieve it deeply, it feels a little bit more like this is scary, but this is exhilarating, and I can see that something is really happening in my life. The wheel is turning. Okay. Wow. Big reading this month, Leo. How are you feeling? Is big stuff going on with you? As always, please, I'd love to hear your stories, questions, comments. I try to drop down in there with some advice and some love. And I really appreciate you guys leaving me love. And I hardly ever say it, but if you like this, please like it and like share it. Share it with other people. If you know any Leos or Tauruses or whatever, it really helps. I'm a tiny channel, so the more you share, the more you care. Appreciate it. I love you, Leo. I really hope this is helpful and that it helps you have a really fucking awesome November and helps you make the most of it. Make the most of yourself. That's what it feels more like than anything. Love, love, love you, Leo. And if I don't see you in a video before then, I hope I see you in your December reading. Bye, Leo.